Real Talk with Joe Skousen.
Spring,
Yes.
thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We just finished up the session. You joined us at Unite conference.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
Some of the topics that you got into that really, I think, hit home with a lot of folks is this overall theme of kind of being ready, willing, and then you were talking about enabling them to kind of reinvent.
Yeah. Well, you have to. Like, we laugh. So you know my husband, right?
Yeah.
We got married like 10 years ago. So I was 33. And I laugh. I'm always like, the 33-year-old Spring that Brian married is not the 44-year-old Spring that, like, I feel like I've reinvented myself so many times. Yeah. And some of it's been intentional and some of it hasn't been, right?
Yeah.
But over the last 5 or 6 years, it's been very intentional. And I just think that if you're not growing, what as they say, progress equals happiness. You're not growing, you're dying. But for me, that next level of anything in business or just a life is going to take a different version of myself. So
that's part of, I think, what success really looks
totally.
like, right?
Yeah.
Success to other people looks a certain way, and people perceive what they perceive, right? We're all busy like perceiving someone else, and we're like, man, they're so successful, right? And it's like success, a big part of it really is being able to reinvent that next chapter. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And being able to I always look at my life. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I am my own character in my own movie or my own book. Yeah. And I get to write the next chapter. Like, who do I want to show up as, right? And when you can start to really think about it that way, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In life and in business.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You kind of got to do the same thing, don't you?
Where you go, what I was saying, it's like wherever you are, wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah.
Like your business generally reflects your personal life too, right? Yep. I always say to my agents, I run a large team. I'm like, if their personal life is messy, then this part of life is going to be messy too. So the human element is just so crucial for the business side.
That's like not a comfortable truth to always face for everybody.
It's true, though.
Isn't it?
It's true.
Yeah, it is. It's totally true.
Yeah. How you show up, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Right?
And so stepping back and observing your space, your work, your life a little bit and being like, okay, it's probably true, even if it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being willing to face that truth and then being willing to maybe burn it down or have some conversations. I shared on stage that in the last 2 years, like my personal life has actually been phenomenal, but it was because the awareness of like, oh crap, it's not phenomenal. Yeah. Right? Like I built all this business side, and when I say not phenomenal, like I have a beautiful marriage and beautiful family, but was it the relationship level that I wanted, you know? And so even like real conversations, and my husband would be fine, I share this, but even going to him and being like, hey, I love us and there's a next level. Like I want more, and being like, okay, let's figure out what that is.
Do that. Yeah.
So
that is astounding. How do you have those conversations with yourself? How do you get that self-awareness? How do you do it? How do you see other people do it? I don't know that everyone does it the same, but how do you see that? How do you do that?
The self-awareness?
Yeah. How do you drive that?
I do have a lot of self-awareness, but I also spend a lot of time investing in me. So I do a lot of breath work. If you ever want to come to my studio, I have one. We live by each other.
I know.
Yeah.
We're like not that far away. Here we are in Charleston.
Yes.
And we're like not that far away from each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I've actually paid for a lot of coaching on the personal side. So there's a gentleman, his name is William Lamb. He's a it's like neuroscience, right? A lot of it around like the brain and like your identity and who you are. I talked a lot about that today. I've done a lot of that. And then just really, I've actually worked with a few beautiful coaches on the spring as a human. Like, who am I outside of this, like the whole body? Yeah. So I do a lot of work on that.
It has made, I think there's a lot of room to grow still for me personally. Yeah. But I will say, for me, one of the things that I've found myself discovering over the last few years is I don't say it to too many people, but I guess I'll say it to a few now.
Yeah. We're an open book.
Hey, here we are. Yeah. My most important meeting of the day is with myself. Yeah. And I cancel a lot of meetings. Sorry, everyone. I cancel. I reschedule. Yep. But my most important meeting is with myself, and I usually have it when I'm either riding my bike or on a walk. Sometimes I'm walking for like hours at a time, and I'm like talking. People are like, "Who's this crazy man in the dark in Davis County?" But that's like my most important one because I found that's where I actually can unpack it.
Yeah.
You know?
I give myself permission to change my mind and to change like what maybe served me before isn't serving me now. Right. Like I talked about a little on stage too, of like what got me here was great, but it might not be where I want to go.
Yeah.
And so being open to doing that, there's been a lot of self-awareness just coming from a place of being like, how do I feel? And being like, well, how do I want to feel?
Yeah.
And then getting to a place where I'm like, I can shift this.
That's fantastic. We're in a spot in the industry in real estate, right? We're in a place where I think we've gone through, you see all of the data, all the market data, all of the shifts, all of the, legal issues in the space, all of the headlines, all the portal shifts, there's been so much.
Everything.
We're in a moment where it's the vast majority of teams, agents, brokers, and brands who are going through some sort of reinvention, right?
Yep.
This is such a relevant conversation
today.
It's always relevant, but it's like really relevant in this space right now. In this moment, as people are going to reinvent themselves, there's like this introspective, self-aware work that they have to do because it's work.
Totally.
And yet they got to run their business. How do you balance the like tactical, I got to show up and run my business and I got to do this? How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a believer you can have it all. Like that is literally one of my sayings, like you can have it all, but you've got to prioritize what that is, right? So it's getting clear of what it is you want first. So in context of the team, I've had a team since 2010 and it's looked 1,000 different ways. Like I was that agent that shouldn't have had a team, right? Like this is actually a fun fact. I got like the first Boomtown account in Utah because I received like Realtor Magazine's 30 Under 30. I ended up on a panel somewhere and this one was like, you don't have a Boomtown account? I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
But I'm going to get one.
Yes, yeah. I was that agent. And anyway, that's how I got in. I was like, oh, I have these leads. Now I'll hire some agents.
Yeah.
But my point of this is my team has had like so many identities. And now it's like, for me, it's what's going to fulfill me? Like, who do I want to surround myself with? Like, what type of business do I want to run? And so in that context, I always look at it like this business has to serve the life that I want to live, not a context of it has to be bigger or it has to look a certain way. Like I think you can relate on this. Like a lot of these teams, especially right now, are really big and they're not making any money.
Right.
Which
is totally possible to do.
Oh,
big
I could
teams,
get there.
Big businesses. You can build a whole thing and be like, why? What?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So I've been very intentional about what we're building because we could go be number one, and we have all the foundation to do that, and also bring everybody in at like a crazy split and not make any money. But I'm like, no, I want to have this type of culture, this type of agent. Same with my life. Like it's really important to me to have the marriage that I want to have and the relationship with my kids, but it's prioritizing, right?
Yeah.
And so, I do a lot of work. Like I have done a lot of personal growth journeys to retreats to getting very clear. And there's also a lot of conversations. Like my poor husband is not he's beautiful. He's married to me.
He's fantastic. And you two are fantastic.
We have like the most beautiful marriage, like truthfully. And it is like, hey, babe, what do you think about this? And he's like, totally. All right, I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's the best though.
Yeah.
But you do run a very disciplined business too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it goes without saying a little bit, but as I've watched kind of how you operate a little bit and
very disciplined.
Yes. So I think sometimes we can talk about this reinvention. It feels soft and squishy and like, I'm like in a place and I don't like, and I just hope things materialize. You have to step back and kind of be introspective, but you run a disciplined machine.
And I run a disciplined life.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, we're on pace to sell about 800 homes this year. I can tell you every number. I can tell you my Zillow conversion. I can tell you like how many houses we have right now. I mean, I can tell you my per agent productivity, like my profit margins, like I know my stuff. It's the same in my life. This might feel like it's woo, but it's actually not.
Yeah,
like it is very disciplined and very designed, right? Like if you don't design it, business and or your life, you're not going to get it, right?
You know, one of the steps, you were just talking through this in your session. One of the things that I see most often is I will talk to a team or a broker or a brand, you know, because I am able to have a lot of conversations up and down the stack, you know, from somebody who's brand new starting out to, and where you are at today is vitally important to understand. Where you are at in this moment. And so one of the things that we talk about is understand yourself, understand your business, understand your funnel, understand where you're at today. If you are going to reinvent yourself, you got to understand where you're starting.
Where you're starting and where you want to go.
And where you want to go.
Right? Like it's like you're not going to go out of the gate and like run a marathon, right? Like maybe you might be one of the weirdos and then you might be miserable.
Don't do it. Don't do
it. But it's the same on your business. Like you got to know where you're going, where you're starting and then where you're going, right? And I also think there is a growth journey there too of like it can happen quickly. Like there are some teams that scale super fast and they have a business acumen and they're dialed. But most get their license like me. And then it just starts happening by default, right? And if it's going to happen by default, then you've got to put yourself into a lot of coaching and into the right rooms, come to events like this, right? And start learning exactly what to do.
Yeah, that's right. You talked about all the metrics you know about your business.
Yes.
You know, talk about business intelligence and how you think about it. What are like some of your go-to metrics? And if you were talking to a team or an agent that's like, you know, you ask the question, hey, do you know your numbers? And raise a hand. If it was one of those hands that were not up, where's the most important place to start?
I'm a fan of keeping it stupid simple. Like I do have obviously a CSU dashboard and all of that jazz, whatever you're going to use to measure. But we actually run off of the EOS model. And so we choose when we do a morning huddle with my leadership team. They report out all the numbers. But the number that I am actually like looking at is how many appointments were met that day or the day before, because I know my conversion ratio for every, on my team, it's for every appointments met is 1 closing. And so if they're like, we had 15 appointments, I know we're going to have 3 closings coming up, right? So that is the one thing that I like on a daily, but we're looking at the dashboard every day, right? A big thing that I'm measuring as well is obviously I'm watching at a very high level our lead conversion. Because there's one thing to be on a team and then there's another thing to be on leads. And leads are not cheap, right? And the conversion ratio is important. So the way that we set it up is that we take them through a whole process, like from how we onboard them into, we call it Hello Week, into onboarding, into we give them 5 leads. They have to go through some different trainings once we do, and we give them 5 leads. And we watch through those 5 leads to make sure that they've worked them in the CRM correctly.
Like driving through the funnel.
All of it, And then at that point, then we'll turn it back on to we have a 12% conversion ratio, right? So we're on a Zillow, on our PPC, it's less. But then we'll turn them back on to where they should be at least have a deal from that. We turn them off if they're not, just because it's like we want to get ahead of it before it gets out of control. And so if you're a new team and you're like, what am I measuring? I'm very much looking at obviously the activities. So the conversation, nothing happens without a conversation.
It's absolutely, like, it's the lead, the conversation, set, met.
Signed, So obviously the conversation. I'm a fan of watching the length of the conversation in the CRM. And so I used to be the 100 conversations a week. Now I'm more of like a 2-minute quality conversation. And then I'm watching obviously from that, the set to the met. And then now with the BBAs and stuff, we're looking at the signed, right? So the whole metric, but the one thing every day, I'm like, how many appointments?
How many met?
Did we meet?
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. If you start with one metric, one leading indicator, that's it. And then you work into the
Yes.
kind of the rest of the funnel.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I'm also watching our margins because
I was going to ask you that next.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because it's really easy to let this get out of control.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, it's every little thing is like not that expensive, but at the end of the day, at the end of the
Then
month,
you're
you're
like,
like,
what did we do? Yeah.
oh yeah. So we're watching our margins at a super high level too.
Yeah. That's great. Any tips there on kind of profitability generally?
Yeah, I mean, every team is so different in how they run and like what their structure. We run at about a 20% profit margin, so it's not 30 like some people say, and it's also not terrible.
Yeah.
And it's also just depends on what race you want to run, right?
Yeah.
Like I do have a sales manager. I do have we have a full team on. I'm not in production.
You've
right?
designed it to, yeah.
Yeah. And so it just depends on what people want. But the way that I know what my fixed costs are, right? And we're just watching it through our, obviously all the reporting you have on the back ends and stuff, right? And then every month we go through and look at it and I go through and see like, is there anywhere that we are out of alignment, right? And then every quarter I actually go through line by line and be like, where are we cutting that we're not using? Yeah. Because we buy a lot of stupid stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Well, and you're trying things and you're testing and, you know.
Well, and it's not even that. Where I've actually seen is like, we'll just use Zillow for an example. Like they increase their fee by 5%.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't think, but that 5% is a pretty big chunk.
That's a big chunk because it's not like hiding somewhere. It's coming out of the bottom line.
Right.
You know, that's where it comes from.
Yeah. And then believe it or not, our actual price point, our average price point went down this last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so you take that and then our average price point, and when you're selling, last year we did like 660 units, like that's a pretty big, on 660 units, your price point going down by $40,000.
Yeah.
Like it's a hit.
Yeah.
So
you
just
multiply those, you know, those are multiplied.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, how do you think about expanding focus into, and I use those words intentionally, expanding focus into affiliated services and other things? Is that, you know,
like mortgage and title?
Title, and maybe how and when is the right time?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think the right time is when you have enough business to justify it. I think it's the shiny thing right now.
Yeah.
People want it, but there's two parts. So I do have a mortgage JV actually. We started it a few years ago. It was really important to me that that the level of service was phenomenal for the agent, not just made sense for the team.
Right.
So we actually, the LO that we brought on was our LO for the last like 15 years. So when we started it, we just said, hey, do you want to come with us?
Got it.
And we had been his business for so long that yes,
it was well established.
Yeah, like he wanted that. So I think the first part is like, if you're going to do something, make sure you have enough transactions and you have a quality LO, right? And if you don't have enough transactions, then go partner with a few other teams to have it justify that you do have enough, right? Same on title. I have a JV with Fidelity, and it's the same scenario. Like it was, do we have enough directable business that we can justify doing this?
Right.
In Utah, we're fortunate enough that it's a split title, so buyer and seller can pick their own title company, right? So, and we also know that the consumer, as long as it's a quality job, the consumer doesn't have generally relationship in title. So it's been an easier than probably mortgage. But yeah, I would say do it if you have the business and you have the partnerships to have it make sense.
The other thing is, and maybe as long as your baseline is at least your fundamental business is stable enough for that, right?
They can support
Sometimes someone's looking for the lifeline to save the business they're running. And it's kind of like, make sure you got stability first.
Yeah, everything. So I have quite a bit going on right now, but the foundation of everything we do is our real estate team.
Yeah.
Like without that, nothing else exists, right?
Yeah.
And so if this isn't like thriving, then the rest of it's not going to work.
Well, Spring, you are doing incredible things. It's been so fun to kind of see it. It's been really fun to be able to share in some of that here at Unite.
Yeah, it's been fun to create it, and it's been fun to be here. Like I I wish that I would have taken a little bit more time, like, and enjoyed Charleston and stuff, because it's so
next
great.
time,
Next time when I will make sure that like my schedule is not back to back, and I will actually come and
it's a fun
experience
place. Yeah,
it is really cool.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much.
Thank you for
Appreciate it,
having me.
Spring.
Thank you.
Yeah.